All right, let us begin. We actually have a lot on the agenda today. I have so much stuff I want to share with you, but I'll share so many cool things with you. I actually have a whole list of things that I want to share. So what I'll do is without further ado, let's just get started. So firstly, I'll give a brief introduction of what I'm going to cover today. So as the workshop was advertised, this is a workshop on how you can use AI to become a superhuman. Now, for now, the definition of superhuman might be different for everyone, but I guess the bottom line, the one that I want to share with you, your productivity, which is your rate of output per unit of input, exponentially increases, and you become pretty much like a Superman who can do anything you want, right? So that's the goal of this stream today. Now, if you've taken the time here, if you've taken the time to be here and join me tonight, then it's my responsibility to make sure that this time is super valuable. So first thing that I want you to do before you get started is, if possible, just keep a pen or notes, something with you so that you can take notes in the session. So first thing I want you to do is, and this is going to be a bottom line of the workshop anyway, that if possible, try to keep this tab open as often as possible. It doesn't matter if you use Gemini, it doesn't matter if you use ChatGPT, doesn't matter what you use, just try to keep this tab open in your browser with whatever you're doing, right? And the reason why I say this is because the only way you can learn about this technology is when you use it like heaps, use it more than you can imagine, right? And just go write it for me. And this is what like most people do, right? But this is not what we want, because this, yes, might look good at the beginning. It wouldn't give you depth. It wouldn't make your life anyhow better. So instead of doing that, first thing I wanted to show you is, if you're a student or if you're someone who wants to learn something, the first thing you can do is actually start playing with these features. So this is a super new feature, just came out like super recently, study and learn. And here you can use this to pretty much study and learn anything you want. Let's say I wanted to learn Mandarin, for example, right? I'll literally go teach me Mandarin, and it's going to start with such basic terms. It's going to ask me questions, and this particular model has been designed in a way that they've literally worked with psychologists, teachers, and everyone to help you start and like literally learn and study. So instead of using it as a shortcut for everything, if you begin by actually using it for super cool stuff like learning something, then that's your first step towards becoming superhuman. Now you might think, okay, enough with the boring stuff. Let's get into the real deal. Cool, let's do it. So let me just show you super quickly another thing that ChatGPT can do. So if you go to, let's say I start a new chat, right? And I go agent mode, right? I've used heaps of these already, but what I could use this agent mode for is, it can literally automate some of the boring stuff in my life. For example, let's think of find me cheapest flights from Darwin in the upcoming month. And yes, some of you might say that, well, I could do that myself. Yes, you can. But when you get rid of tasks which are not so much efficient in your whole line of things that you have to do, if you can get rid of some redundant tasks and get like someone else to do it for you, it's super helpful. And the reason why this feature is really cool is because what's going to happen now is it literally sets up a browser, right? And it does that thing for you. And it's not just limited to flights. This is just one like random example that I could think on top of my head. But if you have more use case scenarios, it's definitely worth a shot. So try out things, see what works for you, and literally just make it a partner in your workflow. So you're pretty much producing way faster than you're doing other stuff. Now, while it does that, let me just show you something else I did, which was plan this workshop. No, that's not what I want to show you. I wanted to show you this. So here, I used the same agent, gave it a prompt of a slide deck I wanted, and it literally made a slide deck for me. So this is a different type of use case, but as you can see, you can literally use it for so many more purposes. And it's not that it's limited to just doing working slides or all that. There's so many more things you can do, and it's not just that you have to use ChatGPT. There's literally so many tools out there that you can use. So I'll show you that. And speaking of PowerPoints, another thing that I wanted to show you was, before I show you that, let's see how that is going. So it's still looking for flights, still looking for more stuff, and see how it's kind of working by itself. I'm not touching anything. It's literally doing all that stuff for me, right? Cool beans. So while that is still working, let me just quickly also show you another thing that I previously used AI for to become a superhuman, right? When I was doing my teaching placement, I was supposed to be teaching a class about not Newton's laws, it was calculus, right? Super boring. And if you wanna, and some of the teachers here might know that when you're trying to teach something solid, you need a very good hook in the beginning. And like all the social media content creators know that too. So for beginning something like that, I needed something really interesting, but I couldn't think of what, because it's maths, right? But here's where the cool thing comes in. I went on ChatGPT, tried to find some information about history of calculus, right? How it started and all that. And I'll actually go it with you as I did with the students. Just talk about integration, talk about myself, goals of today's lessons, and then it kind of began with this, right? The calm before calculus. And then Newton comes in and says, I invented something, but I won't publish it because it's too powerful. At that time, Newton used to be in United Kingdom. But at the same time, from Germany, there was another scientist whose name was Leibniz. And Leibniz created actual calculus and said, take all this, and decided to publish it, unlike Newton. The whole world kind of goes, oh, someone cooked here. And this was all about calculus and all the cool stuff. And Newton ends up calling Leibniz thief, gets mad at him. And Leibniz kind of makes fun of Newton. And then that's how, after that, Royal Society comes in, and the Royal Society says, you know what? This is actually not even Leibniz's work. This is Newton's work. But what was funny was that it was shared by Newton. So this was a way, and I probably did it too fast, but this was a way how I broke into the students and like just showed them a story. And you wouldn't believe it, most of this is AI generated. And you might think, how? Well, that image, Leibniz, Newton getting mad, Leibniz making fun of him, all of this stuff, and the map, and the storytelling, and the actual, like all of this stuff was thought through using AI. And then this was not the only time I did something like this. I did more stuff like that. And what it sort of helped me was with it just kind of helped me be my creative partner. And yes, I did needed my own creativity to be able to do this too. I guess just seeing that, okay, ChatGPT can generate images, but instead of using it to generate animated images of me, I would much rather use it to do something that boosts my lesson and pretty much makes my workflow faster. And I didn't have to edit these images myself. I could literally just ask ChatGPT to generate it, and with some few transitions and morphs and slides and all that, it kind of looks like a story, and it really just gets attention of the students, right? So that was just something from my teaching side on how I kind of used AI for storytelling, and something that may help you too, that when you're generating images, to see what your use case is. So I guess it all comes down to what your use case is and how you decide to use it, right? And as we were doing the thing with ChatGPT where it was trying to find for me, it's already done that. So it's found cheap flights for me. Makes sense. 272 for Bali, 209 for Gold Coast, 210 for Cairns. So it's kind of done all that stuff for me. So this is another cool thing that you can do with Agent in ChatGPT. So here on the left-hand side, this is something that a lot of people ignore. You have Sora, and Sora can help you generate really high quality images and also videos. So depend on what you might use it for. These are some other images that other people have generated, but you can much use this. A lot of people ignore that. And another really important thing, which is going to take the next 5 to 10 minutes of ours, is GPTs. Now, what are GPTs? So instead of just using the generic ChatGPT model, there's people who have created specialized stuff which can help you, right? So let's say you work in marketing, right? And you want a GPT for marketing. If you look up marketing, you'll be able to find something which is much more specific, trained on specific information. So as you can see, this one says that you're expert mentor in advertising, guiding media professional, working at the big 6 agencies, right? And then if you start a chat with something like this, it's going to give you much more because the prompts are way more trained, the information is way more specific, and it's not the whole generic global information which the general ChatGPT model has. So here, you can generate a marketing strategy, and it's going to perform way more better than what would work with normal ChatGPT. And this is something which I do on the side, which is I do lots of podcasting. A part of podcasting involves me to be able to create trailers of the podcast, which are, in my opinion, one of the most important bits of the podcast because it kind of gives the viewer a sense of what's going to happen in the podcast, right? I wanted to create really good trailers, but I couldn't find a good GPT for doing trailers. So instead of giving up, what I did instead was I created my own GPT. So this is Pod GPT, right? And what I can do with Pod GPT is if I paste my whole transcript from a podcast into this GPT, it gives me broken down cuts of how the trailer could be structured. So for example, cool. And yep. So now I've got the whole transcript, right? If I put that into Pod GPT, what it's going to do is it's going to take all that information and try to create a trailer sequence for me. Now, you might think, why did I not use just a normal chat GPT for this? Well, the difference is if you have heard of podcasting, then you might have definitely heard of Diary of a CEO. What I did was I wanted my trailers to be like kind of similar just to get some inspiration. So what I did was instead of just putting it into ChatGPT, I took the transcript of top Diary of CEO trailers, put it into a Word document, and used that to train PodGPT, right? And now it kind of gives me the cuts that I can make, and then some visual effects that I can do, and all this stuff just based on some information that I provided and some information regarding how I guess the cutscenes works and the transitions work. And after all of this, after using all of that, I'll show you what I got. I got something like this.
I love my work. I never want to stop. For a lot of people think success is like getting a yacht and just not working ever again. But I think that is true when you don't like the work you're doing.
What does success mean to you?
This is so easy. I will do the work I want with the people I want to work with in the hours that I choose to work from anywhere I choose to work. So I went from being like the biggest enemy of retail to now I'm like this little hero in Lismore who's come in and saved a struggling store. It definitely has a sense of humor. So if there's a God totally laughed at that one.
My last question is, what's the one thing you're most proud of?
Not allowing.
And see how that kind of also ends on a cliffhanger. But that was also recommended by cliffhanger. It just performs better. So I guess all that stuff really, really boosts. Mind you, that I still had to do the editing and all that stuff and all the rest. But having to watch the whole thing, manually deciding what parts are good, what parts are not, what is like backed by data that works, all that stuff, I could literally automate, right? One final thing in ChatGPT, if you actually, I might just quickly show you how you can create a custom GPT. We still have about 40 more minutes, right? So if we go to GPTs, create here, let's say you want something basic, right? Something, create a GPT that writes in my style and responds to emails, right? And then this would literally just help you create your own GPT. If you don't like using ChatGPT and if you have something like Copilot, you could also do this in Copilot. I think in Copilot it's called agents. So, and then what you can do afterwards is once you've created that, you can go to configure and upload a Word document or a PDF file of how you structure your emails and literally put that in, and it would essentially respond in the way you write. Yes, you can still make minor adjustments and all the rest, but for a beginner, it's really helpful because then you have one less task that you have to do and it writes on your writing style. Ethically, it's up to you on what you use it for. This is just an example use case, but you can create your own GPTs to work on anything. And I'll quickly also, what I'll do is my GPTs and Pod GPT. I'll show you how the backend of Pod GPT looks like. So here inside configure, the instructions, they essentially get done when you type it to Pod GPT. Afterwards, when all that is done, I'll listed the type of layout I want and how it should look like. And then for transcripts, this is where I added the Diary of a CEO trailers. And these were like 15 or 16 Diary of CEO trailers transcripts together. And then it kind of works in my favor where it gives me what I want. So this was my use case. You might have your own use cases, but definitely write this down or check this out after this session, because I'm sure you might have a few ideas on how you can use custom GPTs. If not, maybe just have a play around and then eventually you will have something. Codex here, another thing, is something that you can use just for coding. I feel like I can keep talking about so many things just inside ChatGPT, but I guess it's now time to move on to Gemini. Good speed. Thank you, Preeti. W comment. Let's go. Thank you, the undesirable. All right, let's go. Let's get back in. So now I'm into something even cooler than ChatGPT. So if you feel like so far has been cool, it's only going to get better from this point. The reason why a few people might like Gemini or might not like Gemini is because the thing with Gemini is it works really good in the Google ecosystem. So if you're someone who's like super into Microsoft and stuff, then okay, maybe not so much. But if you're into Google, if you have an Android phone or whatever, or even if you don't have an Android phone, maybe just watch this and you might want to switch. Okay, so if you ask Gemini what all you can do, it's going to probably say some stupid stuff. But if I tell you what all it's going to do, it's going to be really freaking awesome. So when you type @ in Gemini, you get access to all these different apps, right? Now, the app that, let's say, which one should I pick? Let's say I pick Google Calendar, right? And ask Google Calendar, hey, what is on my schedule tomorrow? Now, what it's going to do is it's literally going to connect to my Google Calendar and tell me what's happening. So I have sleep time, yes, 10 p.m. Indonesia, okay, flight and journaling and sleep time. So it literally goes to my calendar and checks. And it's not just limited to calendar. You can do this for anything, right? Let's say Google Flights. And as I showed you earlier, you can do this with flights. Actually, I don't want to show a lot of that. What I'm going to do is I'll show you a really cool thing you can do. So thinking of a cool topic on top of my head. Man, I want to look up something cool. History of Rome documentary or something. Right? And that's a 58-minute video. I definitely don't have 58 minutes, right? So what I'll do is I'll copy that, and you can do this with anything. I'm testing this while we speak. At YouTube, summarize the key talking points of this video. And what it would do is it would literally connect to YouTube now, watch that video for us, and give us a whole summary of key points. And well, to be honest, History of Rome would be a really interesting thing to watch for an hour. But if there's anything else, if you want to decide if you want to watch a YouTube video or not, you can literally just put it in there. And it's like, let's say it's an hour-long lecture on something really complex like thermodynamics, and you want to know if it's really worth it, then you can put it into Gemini, ask it to summarize it for you, and it tells you what are the main stuff that the thing talks about, right? So cool thing, definitely try it out, right? And you can do the same for all your other integrations like Google Keep, and you can create a note for my shopping list and then add things to your shopping list like milk, veggies, etc. And then it would literally just create that for me and add to my shopping list. So all this stuff happens in Gemini, and it works really well with the Google ecosystem. Now, if you're surprised by this, let me tell you, that's not where it ends. If you're using, let's say, where's the thing? Google Docs, if there's a document you want to summarize, of course, that's there. But if you're using I don't know what it's called, but like the worksheet thing in Google. So let's say, oh yeah, spreadsheets. So if you're using spreadsheets, right, and yet let's say you have some data. You can also use AI in here. So you can go equals AI, and then after that, you could literally just go and select that and kind of work with it. Wait, yeah, anyway. But essentially, you could also use AI inside spreadsheets. Isn't that pretty cool? So the reason why Gemini for me is cool is just because all the integrations it has to offer. And if you think that this is cool, let me show you something else. Let's say we literally just talked about history of Rome right now, right? So let's say I want to learn more about history of Rome or just practice what I've learned. What I can do is create an interactive app for me that helps me learn about history of Rome. Cool. And when I do that, what it's going to do is it's literally going to code and create an actual app for me. And then I'll show you once the app is ready. This is just me doing it for the first time. Once this app is ready, I can literally learn more about history of Rome, right? And then, of course, I could add like quizzes in it. I could add videos in it. I could add games in it, like gamify the experience, get the puzzle pieces to come together. Or like literally, it's limitless what you can do with features like these. So if you're trying to learn something and you're bored learning it the traditional way and you want to like spice it up, learn it in a cooler way, or even do other things like build another app for you, you can do that using Gemini. And mind you, this is the free version. See, it's telling me to upgrade. All the stuff that I'm doing, it's in the free version. The only thing that I'm paying for as of now is ChatGPT. So yeah, use Gemini integrations. And bonus, if you have a Google phone or like an Android phone, what you can do with it is, since you have Gemini on your phone, you can actually work with Gemini on the phone. And then literally when you do that, it's gonna work with all the integrations you already have, work with your calendar, work with your emails. Oh yeah, emails, by the way, you can also use it to summarize emails, all that stuff. And this is all no code. This is literally just typing in and it works for you. So that is Gemini. Then I'm pretty sure there's more cool features. So just like how we looked at custom GPTs earlier, you can create more custom GPTs here. Gems, they call it on Gemini. Now, we're going to get into something more exciting. Yeah, you're like, Avi, you just keep going. I'm like, yeah, I keep going. I got about 25 more minutes of your valuable time, so I got to make it worth. The reason why I'm doing Canva is because this is so simple, super low code, super low thinking, and it might give me a break and give me a pause. So let's say if you're working on poster designs, right? And I'm going to think of a random idea. When you go to Canva, you have to click on Canva AI, and then it's going to give you a few features. You can also create websites in Canva, but that's not something that I'm interested in. Video clips and all that, not too much interested in. What you could do is you could say, help me create a portrait poster of an event that is happening in my university. It's called movie night, and it is happening on 16th of August. These are just random parameters. Nothing is actually happening. Please don't show up at locations. 16 August in the theater, right? And the movie is about history of Rome. I don't know. And then you can also work with Canva AI, and then it's going to create you different designs and give you options to select from. So another really cool feature. I guess the bottom line within using any AI apps is literally for you to map out what are the things you want to do on your daily and how can you make it faster. So right, that's actually really cool. I'm at like just a few tweaks and I can make it look really, really nice. That's a nice photo that it's picked. Even that, wow, look. So it's got paper cuts and all that. So it really understands what I'm trying to tell it. And once it understands, it's gonna do it for me. So no more looking for templates. Literally just type in, create your own templates, do some design tweaks, and you'll have movie night posters or like whatever you want. You can also create PowerPoints, but I think I've already covered that in ChatGPT. If you're looking for another app to create PowerPoints, which is much more better, then I want you to check out Gamma AI. I'm not going to go too deep into this one, gamma.app, but it also works really cool. Like it can help you create designs. All you need is just information for it, and then it can work really, really well. Let me show you make.com. Now this is slightly advanced, but it's still doable. So you might probably take like a day to learn about this, right? However, once you know the ins and outs, it's going to be really easy to use. So let's say I go to make.com, and you might think, okay, what do we do with it? Well, you can use it to create custom AI agents. And the difference between normal AI that we've been using so far and AI agents is like AI agents can do things based on when things are given to them. So let's say you receive an email, then the agent can do something with the email and then give you a response. Or let's say you fill out a Google spreadsheet, right? In Google Sheets here. Let's say you write something in the sheet, give it out a few details. It's going to monitor that spreadsheet, then take that information, put it into Canva, put it into, let's say, GPT, and create that information into text, and use that text, put it into Canva, create a poster, and use that poster and automatically post it to your LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Isn't that really cool? Well, you can do all that literally using make.com. Again, slightly advanced, but worth a shot. Like have a try, have a play around, and you never know what you end up loving. So here you can go create new scenario. I'm not going to go too deep because we don't have a lot of time, but essentially what you can do is, wait, not this one. Let me just go home. Yep, there. So this was one that I was working with for Excel, like getting data into Excel, goes into Google Sheets, and then goes into Google Sheets, goes into Canva, then Canva exports a design, uploads into Google Drive. But of course, you could add things like your LinkedIn, connect your Instagram. You could also automate Instagram DMs. So we often see people like, oh, comment under my video and you'll get this link. Well, some of that stuff is also done through make.com. There's easier alternatives, of course, but another type of thing that you can do is you can use make.com and create your own scenarios and just get things to work. What I might do is I might speed run the next 10 minutes. All right, I feel like there's a delay actually. So when I'm seeing it now, you're probably seeing this 10 seconds later when I'm actually showing you. Anyways, now this was an advertisement that I saw on my Facebook saying that, hey, you should buy Motion and get AI employees. And I'm like, what does that even mean? So let's have a look at it together. I've logged into Motion, purchased a free trial just for this workshop because I can't afford to pay $60 a month. And I might select, so it says choose 3 employees to start. I'm going to start Alfred. Alfred can draft daily agendas, organize your email. Cool. Chip, I don't want Chip. Clyde, customer support. I don't want customer support. Marketing would be good. I'm interested in marketing. And project status, don't need that. Researcher. I might do researcher. Cool. Continue. And then, yeah, I want you to do that. Organize my email, daily meeting prep. Do that, Alfred. Research. Okay, I want to do a research on select workspace. Yeah, my private workspace. Back. My private workspace. Continue. And my private workspace. Blog writer, draft post, draft Instagram post, draft LinkedIn post. Continue. Okay, now it's asking me to connect my Gmail account. And for the sake of it, I trust you, and I'm going to trust my main Gmail account. Okay. Our project name is due tonight. Let's see what it does. Cool. Okay. Well, that's actually really helpful, to be honest. I never planned my stuff like that. However, that's actually super helpful. So, yep, okay. And I can use that as a to-do list or something. Producer, yeah, that's me. Cool. And I can, of course, connect my calendars, which is it's offering me. This is either going to be the best promotion for motion, or it's just going to be total shit. Select all, continue. Connected all the calendars, main calendar. Content, timetable, connect. Yes, next. So that's offering me to use AI note taker. So there's a lot of features in this one. Okay. Yes, this is what I'm concerned. AI employees run skill. Continue. Organize email. Research a topic. Marketing on LinkedIn. My private workspace. Run skill. So that's one of the agents that I had added, right? And mind you, I'm just learning about this now. And the reason why I wanted to do it here is not because I was running out of time, but because all I wanted to show you was that the one thing that you would have seen in this workshop is there's heaps and heaps of things. Like there's literally so many AI, so many different types of AI generators that you can use. But how would you know which one's the one for you? I guess all that comes through trying. And if this really, really helps me a lot, what I would do is I might actually end up paying this one. But so now it's given me a really good report. Well, that's way better than ChatGPT, to be honest. And blog writer and draft Instagram post. So I guess I could pretty much use these same employees, which are like, it's calling it AI employees, but I guess it's AI agents, to get things done. And I could automatically trigger things. So meeting prep. So let's say a meeting's about to happen. It's going to automatically check that the meeting's about to happen and give me information and notes. So I guess that's how pretty much all of this is running. And I guess it makes sense. Would I pay for it? I would probably know within a week. Probably not, because it's too expensive. But yeah, I guess it's a really solid thing to play around with. But yeah, that does it really well. Organize my calendar. Nice, cool. Don't want to open my calendar. but I guess W's in the chat. Xavier, let's go. All right, what I'm gonna do is I might stop sharing now and just hang around and wait for people to tell me what you want to see again. So far I've covered ChatGPT and maybe just, a refresher. See if you still remember when I was yapping so fastly earlier. ChatGPT, how you can use ChatGPT as a thinking assistant. Always keep it open in one of the tabs of yours. How you can generate images in ChatGPT and use it to boost your creativity. And I told you about how I did my PowerPoint storytelling and told you about how you can use ChatGPT to learn more things, custom GPTs, Copilot agent, which is similar to custom GPTs. Deep research is something that you can also try in ChatGPT. Super cool. My favorite one, which was Gemini, how you can integrate Gemini with your apps and your calendar and your notes and your Gmail and all that. How you can use Gemini to boost your productivity, how you can make apps to learn new things. And we looked at Canva, super easy to use, AI agents, and motion. So that's pretty much all it was covered. Aye, bro, I'm going to end this now. Thank you for joining. Much love, 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 love. See you. Bye, 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 bye.